He's feeling something he doesn't want to tell you about. You've noticed it, haven't you? Small changes that seem insignificant but together make it clear that he is different. The way he responds to your messages, the reluctance to share what he is going through, the way he avoids your gaze when the conversation becomes more serious. All these are signs that something is happening inside him. Something he prefers not to share with you. Maybe out of fear, maybe out of not knowing how to explain. Remember that smile he always gave you when he saw you, or the affectionate tone in his voice that warmed your conversations? Now that seems to have been lost. He responds more curtly, always seems busy, or he's distant, even when you're side by side. It's not a lack of feeling. It's something he's still trying to understand, and perhaps on some level he fears you will find out. You also notice that he has been avoiding those moments of closeness that used to come naturally. It's as if he is there, but his mind is elsewhere. It hurts, I know, because you feel that something is wrong but don't know how to reach him without seeming intrusive. This emotional distance may seem like an abyss, but it is also a chance to look closely and understand what he really needs right now. Maybe he is going through moments of self-criticism, pressure, insecurities that he cannot put into words. You notice the restlessness, the nervous demeanor, the head in the future, and worst of all, he does not talk about what he's feeling. It's clear that something is out of the ordinary, and he doesn't know how to bring this into the relationship without affecting you. Now the question is, how do you react? It's important for you to know that you don't need to pressure him. He doesn't need to feel like he's being demanded to talk, but he needs to realize that you are there, present, willing to listen, to understand, and to give him the space to open up in his own time. If you chose to continue, it's because you really want to understand what he is going through. You want to know how to act without smothering and at the same time without being absent. This balance is not easy, but we will walk together to explore how you can handle this situation maturely without losing your peace and at the same time strengthening the relationship. First, consider the importance of your demeanor. If you come across as anxious, pressing for answers, he might feel even more withdrawn, afraid to reveal what he feels. He needs to feel that you are a safe place, a space where he will not be judged or pressured, but understood. This trust is the foundation for him to feel comfortable sharing with you what is going on. Often, those going through an internal conflict carry the idea that their problem is something that shouldn't affect the other person. He might think that by exposing his vulnerabilities, he could worry you, or perhaps make you see him in a different light. At these times, you can demonstrate with actions and words that you are there for better or worse, that you understand relationships go through moments of silence and expression. Instead of directly asking what he feels, you can ask questions that show your genuine interest, but in a lighter, almost casual manner. Questions like, "Is everything okay with you?" said calmly, or "Can I help you with something?" Open up space for him to feel welcomed without the pressure to respond immediately. This type of approach creates an environment where he can feel safer to express what deep down he might also want to share. Another important point is to be attentive to the right moments to approach this conversation. Sometimes we insist on understanding the other person when we are bothered by the distance, but often the other person is not yet ready to talk. Be patient. Observe the moments when he seems more open, when the atmosphere is calmer, and use those moments to show your support. By doing this, you reduce his resistance, showing that you are not there to demand answers, but to listen and welcome. And remember, respecting his silence does not mean you should ignore what is happening. In moments of introspection, he may be processing feelings that are still confusing. His emotional distance is not a sentence for the relationship, but a phase of self-understanding that, if well accompanied, can lead to a stronger connection between you. He may be questioning his own fears, insecurities, or even analyzing what he really expects from life and the relationship. The presence of silence does not need to be painful. Silences are also a form of communication. In them we can find reflections, grow in empathy and maturity. Your patience at this moment will be proof of your love and respect. You can take advantage of this time to strengthen your own inner peace, remembering that it is not in your hands to change what he feels, but you can be a constant support and, at the same time, take care of yourself. Moreover, one of the most challenging points here is to understand that you do not control his feelings. This is a profound learning process that requires self-mastery and detachment. In practice, it means accepting that whatever is happening with him is not your responsibility to resolve, but rather an opportunity to develop mutual understanding. This stance helps you see that regardless of what he is feeling, you have the power to maintain your own peace and emotional integrity. And therein lies the key to facing this situation serenely, knowing that your happiness and security do not depend solely on the stability of the relationship. This is an insight that brings strength, because by feeling complete within yourself, you can position yourself in the relationship more balancedly, without the need for an immediate response. Your well-being is not conditioned by his behavior or feelings. On the contrary, by strengthening yourself, you become an even more solid and loving presence by his side. So, what to do when he finally opens up? The first reaction many have is to try to find an immediate solution to resolve what is bothering the partner. But in reality, what he probably needs most at this moment is to be heard and to feel that his emotions are valid. When he decides to speak, offer your active listening, without interruptions, without giving opinions or trying to adjust what he says to fit a simple solution. Sometimes he just needs the space to express what he feels, and that alone is enough for him to feel relieved. If he says something that bothers you, breathe. Stay in the present moment, listening to what he really means, not what you would like to hear. Do not rush to respond, justify, or find an explanation. This is his moment, and your silent but attentive presence is what will make the difference. Only after he finishes, if he seems open, you can sincerely share what you also feel. But do it calmly, without demands, without recriminations, just as someone who also wishes to be understood. Another important thing, keep a space for love and lightness, even if the situation is tense. Amid so many uncertainties and questions, maintaining small gestures of affection can help alleviate the emotional burden for both. You can offer a hug, a touch on the hand, something simple that shows that despite the challenges you are still there. Small actions like these reinforce the bond between you and remind that your love is greater than the conflicts of the moment. Also remember that in a relationship, phases of emotional distance are not necessarily signs that the bond is coming apart. Many couples go through periods where one of them needs to withdraw, reflect, and rebuild. This process is part of the journey of a long-lasting and mature relationship. The strength of the relationship lies in being able to overcome these phases together with patience, respect, and above all with love. Finally, you may wonder, until when should you wait? Every situation has its time, and only you deep down will be able to feel when the moment comes to seek a more direct dialogue or even rethink the paths. But as long as you are in this active waiting, know that you are giving him and yourself the chance to better understand what you really want and what really matters in the relationship. So don't give up on listening, on being by his side, on showing that you are a partner he can count on. No matter the situation, your posture of empathy and understanding will show him that the love you share is strong enough to get through any silence. Want to keep exploring and learn more ways to strengthen this connection? When you are with someone facing a moment of inner silence, one of the greatest strengths we can offer is our own emotional stability. Instead of letting yourself be consumed by anxiety or the urge to fix things at any cost, you need to seek calm within yourself. This calm is your foundation. It is what will allow you to remain serene and balanced, even when his answers seem insufficient or confusing. Knowing how to find and preserve this peace within yourself is an act of courage and respect, both for him and for yourself. It shows that you understand that each of us needs time and space to face our own shadows, and that no one is responsible for someone else's happiness. While he goes through this phase of introspection, remember that true love is one that does not require masks. Perhaps what he needs most now is the permission to be himself, even if it means revealing parts of himself that are not so easy to accept or understand. At this point, you are also called to deal with your own expectations and the image you have created of him. It's natural to idealize the people we love, to see them in the light of our best feelings, but in doing so, we run the risk of forgetting that they also have imperfections, inner conflicts, and fears. Allowing yourself to see the other in their humanity, with all their imperfections, is an essential step for this relationship to evolve. But what does it mean, in practice, to be by the side of someone who shows vulnerability? It requires true openness and a welcome that goes beyond words. It means being willing to accept uncertainties, live with doubts, and even face your own insecurities without clinging to easy answers. This is a profound exercise in love because it requires a trust that goes beyond what the other person may say or do. It's a trust that comes from the certainty that, regardless of the ups and downs, you are whole, secure in yourself. And if at some point you realize that this phase is lasting longer than you imagined, that the silence is prolonged, and the connection seems increasingly fragile, that's when you can question what is really essential for you in a relationship. The time you are giving him is also a time to observe yourself, to understand the extent of your limits, how long you feel willing to wait. This self-awareness is your compass, as it will help you make more conscious decisions and understand your own desires and needs. Loving is also respecting yourself and knowing to what extent you can let go of something without losing your own essence. This process of active waiting is also an opportunity to transform. Instead of passively waiting for a change in him, you can invest in your own growth, seeking to better understand your feelings and what it really means to love someone unconditionally. This type of love doesn't bind, doesn't suffocate, and above all, doesn't demand. It's like a river that flows, offering continuously, but demanding nothing in return. Perhaps it is precisely this mature and free love that you are being called to cultivate at this moment. And by doing so, you not only strengthen the relationship, but also strengthen yourself as a person. In moments like these, it is also important not to forget to value the small gestures of love that you share. Each detail, each look, each touch has the potential to strengthen the connection between you. These small demonstrations of affection and care, even if they are not grandiose, are fundamental to remind you that despite the challenges, there is something special between you. And often, it is precisely this network of subtle affections that sustains a relationship during the most difficult phases. And, as much as you want to see him happy, it is important to remember that true happiness cannot be given. It is built within each person. If he is going through a moment of questioning or dissatisfaction, it is not your responsibility to resolve it for him. What you can do is continue being a loving and constant presence, someone he knows will be by his side, but also understands that he needs to walk his own path. This is one of the most challenging lessons of love, knowing how to love without trying to save or fix. If he continues to keep a certain distance, look for ways to express your support lightly, without demands. Perhaps an unexpected message, a word of affection left casually, a small surprise that shows you care. These simple gestures have the power to break emotional barriers and ease tensions. They show that you are there, but without invading his space, and that your love is something built in the details of everyday life. And if at some point he opens up, remember that this is an immense sign of trust. Receive his words calmly and above all with an open heart. By sharing his fears, he is showing a part of himself that perhaps he doesn't even fully understand. So listen, truly listen, without being swayed by the desire to find immediate answers or to calm your own insecurities. Just be present, showing him that his vulnerabilities are welcome and that with you, he doesn't need to hide anything. When the dialogue finally opens, try to understand the feelings behind the words. He might not always be able to explain exactly what he feels, but you can read between the lines, perceive what is behind the hesitant phrases and the silences that still arise. Often what we need most is to be understood in our silence. This empathy, this ability to feel what the other feels, even when he can't say it, is a rare and precious gift. And by offering this, you will be building a solid foundation of understanding and support that will strengthen your relationship in a profound way. However, if you notice that even after all this time and care things do not progress, that too is an important sign. Love is not made of insistence alone. It also requires respect for one's own limits. At some point, you may feel that you have done everything within your reach, and that to maintain your own integrity, you need to assess whether it is possible to move forward. Not because you stopped loving, but because you know that a healthy relationship is one that allows both to grow together without losing themselves in the process. The most beautiful thing about a relationship is that it invites us to explore love in its purest form. This love that embraces, respects, understands, and remains strong, even in uncertainties. It teaches us that true love does not fall apart in difficulties, but finds a way to expand and deepen through them. And when you can see love from this perspective, You realize that it is greater than any fear, that it is made of trust and patience, and that its power lies in its ability to transform, heal, and illuminate. Now the choice is yours. Do you want to continue exploring and understanding even more about how to nurture this connection, or do you wish to end this moment and reflect on everything that has been said so far? I am here to continue this conversation, and together we can delve even deeper into these matters that involve love and the pursuit of a true and lasting relationship. May this journey of understanding and patience be an opportunity to strengthen the most genuine aspects between you. Remember, true love is the one that respects the other's time and embraces their vulnerabilities. By cultivating this serenity and trust, you not only build a deeper relationship, but also discover within yourself a strength that transcends challenges. If this content brought clarity to your heart, leave your comment below. Share your vision, tell your experience. I want to know, how do you handle these moments of silence and introspection in your relationship? And don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more deep reflections on love and relationships. Together, let's continue exploring these paths of connection and growth.